Today, we finish our 3-round 2026 NFL mock draft. We already did round one. Check the video out for that. We will still be doing a quick little recap, but below my face is my board. It is based on my grades in all 22. Players with an asterisk are those who are downed to drop. Those are players who, again, I only do the board based, numerically 1 to 100 or actually 1 to 300 based on this score. Nothing else. I'm not going to bullshit. I'm not going to be moving guys up and down. It's actually based on my all 22 grades that you guys can go and see. It all broken down, including a short description as to why I think the players are where they are by just going over to the Patreon. On there are also extended videos for, the positional rankings, and then also some secret videos are going to be coming up that you guys get to see. But we're going to break down the trades. Nobody who was a placeholder so far this episode, unfortunately, because PFF still doesn't have enough players in it. We might end up putting a guy here, a guy there, but we'll be discussing that as the video goes on. But we had a big trade. The Miami Dolphins, in their new rebuild, gave a double bird to the Jets, in division rival, and made a move up with the Giants to go after Drew Aller. The player, I gave a small discount to the Dolphins. I was debating on recording this the next day. I'm just recording this immediately after, just so everything's fresh. But I was like, I'm getting the same exact player if I'm the Giants. I'm going to get good draft capital. Again, a team that's still rebuilding, but now has a younger, more talented signal caller. Then we ended up seeing via some, we had a dry streak, a dry spell, if you will, of, trades. But that's just because the value wasn't there. This is reverse Super Bowl odds based on a composite of a lot of draft books or a lot of sport books. But we did get a trade here. Arizona made a small move with the Washington Commanders to get Kenyon Sadiq. So Commanders move up, draft Kenyon Sadiq to be their star weapon for the future, which I think would be brilliant. I mean, honestly, I could have tried to trade up even higher, but really happy with the outcome of that. Via that trade down, we ended up getting Isaiah World, who I think 3 years ago ended up playing right tackle at Nevada. Or at least he has reps at right tackle based on what my initial research was. Regardless, they're going to be going after a player who is a little bit similar to Paris Johnson to end up playing both or either side of the offensive line that Paris is not going to do. But again, we're going to continue moving on. I'll let you use your eyeballs to go and see the players who were not traded up for. We did have 2 trades in the early 20s. San Francisco made a move back with the Chargers to draft Dennis Sutton. And then the Rams ended up trading back with the Chiefs so the Chiefs could get T.J. Parker. The results of those trades for the Niners was CeCe Mauigoa, who I was considering at 22. So again, free real estate, free pick. And then Keith Abney for the Rams. So once again, no corners went in that range. Same exact player, free pick. Then we had a interesting deal here. The Philadelphia Eagles, you can end up, and maybe we'll just toss this in here. I'll toss a free pick to make it make a little bit more sense. But we're having the Philadelphia Eagles trade for Denzel Ward at the trade deadline or during the season, based on how the Browns are, dealing with that. And by doing that, maybe the picks will be enough to have that trade up. I hope that makes sense. So we have the Cleveland Browns going Avion Terrell there at number 29 via that trade back. And then, of course, now the Eagles are at number 34. Here we go. Let's get into this. New Orleans Saints at number 33. They ended up picking Garrett Nussmeier at 1. And this team still needs to fix the edge room. The problem is I don't feel very comfortable with the edges on the table. Mateo Uyogale might be the only one. Cassius Howell doesn't fit the physical profile that they usually go for because he's 6'2". So Mateo would be the next guy in line at 6'5". A lot of people have a ton of faith in this guy. Statistically, he has not been very efficient. He just ends up getting more cleanup sacks than anything. So I personally am going to kind of steer clear a little bit. And I'm going to look at a player who could be a potential 1. Right now, he's carving out a role as a pure 2. That's going to be Carnell Tate at that 6'3", 195 frame. I feel very comfortable with him going into Nussmeier's system and just being extremely reliable. I would love if CJ Daniels were more efficient for him to have been the pick here, but instead we're going to be going Carnell Tate, wide receiver out of the Ohio State University. Number 34, Philadelphia Eagles. Again, remember, I ended up having Denzel Ward as part of the reason why we are here. So, I mean, if you wanted to, because the result was pick number 100 and then the pick swap. If you guys want to adjust that, by all means, maybe we'll do that in another video. But, we have enough picks. I feel perfectly happy, being in this situation. And then we could always if we want to complain, we can fix it next week. I will do a mock draft every week anyways, but we have the boundary cornerback position solved. I think Coop should be it, but regardless, we have it solved for the long haul. I do think we need to look potentially at the defensive interior because Jordan Davis looked like he took a step up, especially week 1. We'll see how he does here in week 2, but Big Citrus could be the long-term answer. Again, he's going to be coming up on a contract in a year as of when this draft would be. So you do need to have some sort of contingency plan in the building. Now, there's a lot of good depth on this team. They're doing a very good job. However, the nose position does feel a little bit barren, the where Big Citrus could end up really shining. Now, other areas where you could try to upgrade, wide receiver 3 just feels like something Howie's going to send a 5th round pick for regardless. And again, tight end just doesn't match up with the value, guys. I know you want it. That sounds awkward. That doesn't sound right the way I said that, but I know you guys want a tight end. This just doesn't feel like there's one available right now. Like Max Clare has not shown to have been able to handle the upgrading competition the way I wanted him to. He's my tight end 3, and he ended up boosting his weight from 235 up to 243. That's very good to see. But I can't force something here for y'all. I can't. That's just not how I'm going to roll. Running back, it seems like you guys are perfectly happy sending picks for like running backs that are going to be there for a year. Don't understand that. But offensive tackle is probably the next position you'd go. And, right tackle, I mean, you can go Trevor Gooseby right here, somebody who has definitely some like an opportunity to shine week 1, end up having a solid game versus Ohio State. But I mean, has had games at right tackle as well. If you want to put him through Stout U, not going to blame you because it's a bad tackle class, like a really bad tackle class. Like, I love Remog, should not be your option at tackle. He should be a primary guard, and then he has the tackle flexibility. Like Gooseby, probably the next one that I feel comfortable with. Austin Barber has had, I think it was in 2022. He's played at right tackle, but Proctor is a huge projection. Edge rusher is not a bad idea, but just again, the value's not there. The question is like, what would be the best option? And for me, it's to get a contingency plan for Jordan Davis. I love him to death, but I mean, Big Citrus is just the right value here. Dominique Orange out of Iowa State. I mean, he is a very good player. I mean, even after being utilized in a weird way versus Iowa, he still has like pretty much top quartile in both run stop as well as pass rush. Number 25, or excuse me, 35 for the New York Giants. We did a trade back, got good draft capital, including number 81. So stick around, Giants fans. And we got the same player, Spencer Fano. At this point, I think we're seeing with Will Johnson that maybe some injury concerns, not the worst thing on planet Earth. I don't think Jermon McCoy on that level, but I think that it's perfectly adequate if you want to get a long-term corner 1. So I'm going to be going after Jermon McCoy, cornerback out of Tennessee. Number 36 for the Jets, got Fernando Mendoza in round 1. Feel very comfortable with that. I think right here, you just got to go best player available, and that's Mekhi Lemon. I mean, he's just a fantastic wide receiver. Just a little bit limited in terms of the height, which is why it's like you're talking about, like, do you have a role for someone of that build? A lot of these teams are looking more for the X, the true one. And Mekhi Lemon ends up becoming a steal here for the Jets and Fernando Mendoza. Number 37 for the Titans. Would have been nice to go after Mekhi Lemon, and we kind of got fleeced in that aspect. I've been continuously looking back at the edge court, and you can look at Cassius Howe, Mateo Uyagole, or Mason Thomas. I want to go and probably do Malachi Lawrence in round 3. Like that's where my head's at. I want to go and look at the wide receivers that we still have, even though we've had 2 go already. There's still really good receivers on the board, like tons of them. And there's one that's not listed here. I still have no freaking clue why he is not. Like PFF, how do you not have a player who is like who had like a freaking highlight reel catch in CJ Daniels, who was at LSU last year and was a top end prospect? How do you not have him here? But it's CJ Daniels and Antonio Williams. And Antonio is a really good player. He got injured on like the 5th play or 4th play of the year. I think he'll be back and he'll be good. I think he'll be a contributor here for the Titans. So we're going to go after Antonio Williams to basically be the Kyle Williams, if you will, for Cam Ward. Cam Ward had him in Washington State before he went to Miami. But number 38, Carolina Panthers, went Ruben Bain in the 1st. I'm actually very happy with that. Like, I just feel very comfortable with the idea of that happening. Max Clare is starting to feel a little more comfortable because he fits more of the archetype of tight end here for the Panthers. I just don't really think you have a true tight end one. Like, I want you guys to. I just don't think that's the case. And Max Clare definitely fits the build. Like Jatavian, I want him to be just better. And he still shows like he could be a really solid two, but I want a true one. And I don't think that's Tremble. I don't think that's Handers. Like that's just not where my head's at. You could go for the cornerback move here because again, we're gonna start poaching them, and I really like this in my 2 rounders. So I think I'm actually gonna copy and paste. We're gonna go DJ McKinney. He's having a really good year. Lost 10 pounds, but looks a lot more fluid. And if DJ McKinney can keep it up, he might be able to squeeze himself into the first round. At number 39 for the Dolphins, I feel very comfortable potentially making a move back here. We ended up going after our star quarterback in the first. And like right now, when you're looking at the offensive line, guys, you're looking at like there's certainly players I feel should be moved up for. And with the Raiders sitting here at 40, I think linebacker is going to be a very pressing issue. And Sonny Styles is perfect for the Raiders. And I want to see if maybe there's a team that would want to, get their identity on defense here. And I'm looking at some teams. Honestly, the Patriots don't feel, I mean, you just would never trade in division, but the Patriots are a team that could end up trying to lurk and go after some value there. The Colts, underrated team to go up and get a true star linebacker. Last time they did that in the second, kind of worked out for them. Cowboys, but they've gone after the defensive side 2 times in a row. I highly doubt they'll go defense, defense, defense. We'll see if the Bears want to continue down that path. Definitely the Cardinals, but it's too far of a range to move up for a linebacker. So for me, I honestly think that the Colts need to be aggressive here. They were stagnant and ended up getting their quarterback, pretty much the 5th quarterback off the board. And I think for this range of trade, you're talking about pick 149, which, if I'm the Miami Dolphins, I'm going to try to finesse here and go after a future 3rd and maybe give back like a future 5th. Again, feel free to do trades. I'm no trade master at the moment. I try my best, and that's all I can really do for y'all. But a 3rd and a 5th swap feels pretty adequate for the Colts and the Dolphins to get back what they wanted or what they ended up giving up. And you're looking here, and I'm going to go after the best player in Sonny Styles. I mean, I love Whit Weeks. Sonny Styles is just built to be more of an NFL linebacker. Whit Weeks will have to be a little bit more calculated. At number 40 for the Vegas Raiders, this is where I legitimately might go after that route. First round, we went Peter Woods. Edge rusher, I just depleted it so much. I don't feel very comfortable. Corner could do that. I would end up going my next best corner. Preston Hodge has been playing horribly this year. It sucks to see him take that dip. Like Iggy, I don't think that he'll end up going this range. Love John Tez. DJ Harvey's having a hard time. No pun intended. After pick number 39, I do not have these players marked for rise or fall yet. So TBD on that. But yeah, looking at the guys, oh, God. It's not a good class, guys. I'm just going to be completely honest. I don't have the linebackers in there. I'm going to go after Whit Weeks. I mean, just such a good player. I mean, he is actually really reliable versus the run as well. Feel free to disagree and all that, but I mean, this team definitely feels like you need more identity now than ever. And it's going to be surprising to do that over Anthony Hill, but Whit Weeks just feels like a culture guy that Pete Carroll is going to love. At 41 for the Atlanta Falcons, we did not take a pick in the first because that is essentially for JPJ, I almost said Powers Johnson, but yes, James Pierce Jr. But I do want to go, and we can get 2 AJs in the corner court. That'd be kind of fun. Let's rock that. That sounds cool. I like that idea. AJ Harris, number 41. 42, Dolphins sitting here. And it's like, well, I mean, we got 2 linebackers to go and then a corner. Would have liked to have had my choice of corners, but I do think Domani Jackson might be the best move right now. Young, developmental. I mean, the thing is, like, he has done a very good job showing progression in new programs as well. Prototypical build as well, 6'1", 196. If you want a true dog, you're going to go and get one. At 43 for the Dallas Cowboys, we've gone after Banks and Bailey. Is there a player with a B that I like? Right now, I'm actually going to be looking at wide receiver and running back because Jonah Coleman would be a really solid option at this point. Damon Claiborne, I think he's a superstar. I mean, look at this, guys. I mean, I didn't end up seeing what happened, but I mean, 9.9 yards per carry on the year, ended up getting another tutty. Like, one of the best running backs in the country overall. But Jonah Coleman's been having himself a year. I mean, he ended up having another 100 yards and a couple touchdowns. Like, I think it was 4 touchdowns, if I'm not mistaken. He just feels like he's finally healthy. And when you get to see him at the level that he is, Javonte is a fun filler for the Cowboys. We're going to go after Jonah Coleman here. I think it's worth it. He's a top end back, reliable player, just someone who's going to be just down in, down out. At number 44 for the Seattle Seahawks, we've got Mansour Delane in the first. This is where you might want to start looking at that edge group and start looking a little bit more curiously. Cassius Howell is going to be the guy who I think you guys are looking at. I've heard his measurables are solid. He was listed 6'4", 255 coming into the year. Don't know how the hell he lost 2 inches and 7 pounds. I would like to lose the 7 pounds part, but not the 2 inches. Maybe 7 pounds of fat. I don't have 7 pounds to lose in general, but he's been doing a very good job. 3 sacks on back-to-back-to-back plays recently. Like, I think he'll be going in this range, so we're going to go after Cassius Howell. Feel free to let me know if there's something about my thought process you guys think is wrong with these picks. I'd rather get it wrong once and then end up fixing it than continue to do the same thing over and over again. 45 for the New England Patriots. I'm going to look at the offensive line room, see if we can end up fixing it for the long haul. And I think I might go the Gooseby route. He ended up playing 115 reps at right tackle last year. And I'm just going to continue going and seeing if that ends up working out. I mean, redshirt sophomore, I highly doubt he comes out. But if he can get a second, like a late first grade and ends up slipping here to the second, he very well might. At 46, we have the Chicago Bears. And first round was Keldrick Falk. I'm going to go after my other running back that I really, really like here in Damond Claiborne. So Damond looks really solid. Again, versus NC State, they know that Wake is going to be going heavy with him. So definitely see the statistics dropping. We'll end up evaluating that in terms of like how seriously we should take the drop on him. But right now, he's very close at a number 1 running back for me. Number 47 for the Jacksonville Jaguars have not taken a first pick yet. They're going to play some more Hunter on defense, which is, the risk for people in fantasy if they wanted to draft him. But I just don't know if they're going to, you need to end up getting some consistency on either side of the ball. And honestly, I really like upgrading the interior of the offensive line. Parker Brailsford to me is just a statement piece, like reliable, powerful, undersized, but doesn't play like it. He's the best player on the Bama offensive line. And it's a pretty high talent level offensive line. He was great at Washington. Ooh, you know what? In the future, if I'm going to be honest, I'd debate going with the Falcons with Parker Brailsford and pair him back up with his former quarterback because they do need a center too. But we're going to go Parker Brailsford at number 47 to play interior offensive line there. He's just a statement piece, man. He is strong. He's powerful. He's consistent. And, you try to underestimate him and he ends up making you pay. And that's a really good player to have. Number 48 for the Cardinals, went Isaiah World in the first. You guys are going to love this one because I know you guys have been clamoring for linebacker. We're going Anthony Hill Jr. here in the second. Still want to see him get more consistent, but this is a good range for him to go. At 49 for the Houston Texans, would have loved Anthony Hill here, but we got 2 picks essentially back-to-back. First round, Jeremiah Love. Would love Nick Singleton here, but we're not going to be doing that. We're going to look at the offensive line and, Austin Barber, definitely someone who I want to consider, but they're talking about Ariante Ursary at some right tackle. I think I want to test that out and go Xavier Chaplin here in round number 2. Feels very similar in terms of the overall length and height and build profile of Ursary. So it just kind of adds, it just makes sense. At number 50 for the Steelers, we went Caleb Tiernan in round number 1. You can talk about the quarterbacks here. Again, Arch Manning considered leaving or considered staying. So the next guys were Beck and Robertson. I don't think that's worth it here. So we're not going to do that. We could look at wide receiver here. And I honestly want to go after a player who is not listed, who ended up having a small crash out in either the first episode or the start of this one. I think it was the start of this one. And that's Miami wide receiver. Where is he at on my board? CJ Daniels. He's going to end up being top 32 after everything because he's been doing a great job as well. But we're going to end up going after CJ Daniels, and we're going to let Josh Cameron actually might be selected in this. We're going to let Jalen Wall be the placeholder. So if you guys have not seen, it is number 35 on my board, CJ Daniels, wide receiver out of Miami. I'm sending to Pittsburgh. Again, you don't force something that doesn't make sense. That's how you end up having to draft it again, and you just waste your picks. 51 for the Texans. We've gone after Jeremiah Love, Xavier Chaplin. And we've gone 2 offensive picks. Let's look at the defense as well. For defensive interior, there's a lot of very good options. With an even front, I do think it gets a little bit more tricky, a little bit more dicey because how did Brandon Cleveland do last night? Well, finally his best game. But I mean, Wake is nothing to get like really excited for. Oh, I keep forgetting about Lee Hunter, man. This is perfect. It's perfect for the Texans. I feel like I've done this a billion times at this point. Lee Hunter is so good. Why do people sleep on my boy? He's my number 30 player in the class, by the way. I don't understand why no one's talking about Lee Hunter. He was a baller at UCF and he's a baller at Texas Tech. I mean, just he's balling. At 52 for the Cincinnati Bengals went LT Overton in round number 1. I want to go defensive back at this point. God, it's so tough. I mean, Zakee Wheatley is the one who I think is like right now the guy I'm most comfortable with based on the sample size. Pons would be great if he was just bigger. Like, there's just so much risk with D'Angelo Pons. Like, Zakee Wheatley has been very, very solid, like very reliable in every aspect of his game. I need to get a grade on him ASAP to like back this up, but he's somebody that might be in my top 32 based on just the initial feeling I got, which is not always, that's not everything at all, but definitely worth talking about. Number 53, so the hell, I just ended up having a brain malfunction. Number 53 for the Minnesota Vikings. We ended up taking Dylan Thieneman round 1. I was talking about a big plug for this team. Maybe I wasn't. I've talked about it a billion times, but I need somebody who can end up plug in the middle. There's nobody of like a legitimate size that I would end up considering like competent on this team. And right now, Darrell Jackson's super seasoned, redshirt senior, big dude. He's just worth it. I mean, it's just worth plug in the middle. I'm not super high on Darrell Jackson, but for the role he's playing, it just elevates the defense more and more. And that's just where you need to keep your head at. I really like that. Niners went CC Maui going round 1. I'm thinking about doubling up because CC's not going to play the left tackle spot. We're going to train up Caden Proctor at this point. I mean, fuck it. You know what I mean? Like, Caden Proctor needs an extra year of development. I don't think he should be coming out, but he needs that year. That's why he's here at 54. Like, if he was actually good, he would be going much higher. But when you have someone with the athletic traits that Caden does, you can't let him slip out of the second round. You can't unless there's like legit personality concerns. But that's a topic for another day. 55, Denver Broncos, first round pick, Denzel Boston. That's like I really think, I just feel like that's a good pick for the Broncos. I still think defensive interior could be a move here for the team. I like the idea of just getting a battering ram with Nick Singleton, though. I don't know why. I feel like, because we kept putting Caleb Johnson to the Broncos, too. This is going to be the Caleb Johnson, essentially, to RJ Harvey. I mean, you're just building up a young, powerful, dynamic rushing core. I feel like that's going to work out very well for the Broncos. I mean, they like to be able to have firepower, and I'm just giving them unlimited firepower. Number 56, Los Angeles Rams, Mateer Abney. Two very polarizing players, but like one that you sticked and picked, thought it was a good idea. One that you ended up making some moves for. I think at this point you could talk about that linebacker position, but I mean, wide receiver with like a deep threat feels comfortable right now. I just don't know if there's a guy like Concepcion and Branch are the next guys I feel like you should consider in this range. Branch looking really solid. Concepcion as well. He's been doing a fantastic job. And this is not just like being a receiver, it's a returner as well. KC and him are like almost identical, right? It's like 5'11", 190, and then 5'10", 180. It's a little bit different. I actually might make a move back here because this is where I feel comfortable with a team going and taking Max Clare. And there's a team right here in the Buccaneers that I think would be a great fit for Max Clare. And if I'm the Philadelphia Eagles and I've been making moves up and down the board, this is where it's like, okay, I'm paying much less. Like, it's 61. I have picked 68 and stuff. I feel a lot more comfortable with this. It's a 5-spot move. Like, I feel very comfortable using, I could go 68 to 88. And I feel like that's actually a pretty solid move. You're keeping the same amount. Okay, they're actually saying this is a shit deal for the Eagles. But guess what? How about, what is this quarter pounder with cheese doing in my pocket? We toss in pick number 163. I feel like that's a good move. I mean, again, feel free to rearrange shit, toss in around 7 if you want to. But Eagles make a move up. And again, it's a good shuffling of picks as well. The Rams end up having 2 close proximity picks. The Eagles end up redistributing their board. And now you go Max Clare, Big Citrus, and Denzel Ward. Just saying. I feel like I kind of cooked with that. Feel free to disagree. Love you guys anyways. But at 57 for the Buccaneers, since we lost our Pookie Bear in Max Clare, we're going to be going after linebacker. And Lawson's at 218 pounds. Don't know what the fuck's that's about. Kyle Lewis is a savage, and so is Harold Perkins. You're not going to, and I'm going to assume Arvell Reese is returning to school. I did not say that early enough. I will respond to all the comments about that. I just think Arvell Reese will want another year under his belt, but definitely a name I would toss in here. But Perkins and Lewis. Lewis is amazing. Perkins is doing so much better. Romaine is just kind of like an average solid linebacker, but I'm going to go Lewis. I mean, even though he weighs 220, this dude is just so freaking reliable and he's so flexible. He's worth a second round pick. It's just worth finding out. Lions, Connor Lew in the first, Mateo Uyagole here. It just feels like the picks just ended up matching. Like it just felt right. 59 for the Chargers, Denis Dennis Sutton in the first. And we ended up trading up to do that. So we could try to make a move back here. And again, we took both of the centers that I feel very comfortable with. Big fan of Lyndon Cooper, but still want to see him be a little bit more consistent. Vega Ione is a monster. But like I do feel comfortable with Davian Carter and then also Lyndon Cooper. I don't think they'll go in the second round. So that's why I'm not going to do it. I like to put my own twist on things, but only to a certain degree. Defensive interior, we do need to get a nose. And I think when Tim Keenan comes back, people are going to remember how damn good Tim Keenan is. And this dude is the definition of a plug. Losing Poona Ford in division, or excuse me, not in division. They went to the Rams in the same stadium. Just feels awful. And we're going to get our guy, the big plug, Tim Keenan the third, 59. 60 for the Chiefs. Moved up for TJ Parker. I like how the move ended up working out, looking at how our picks are still really, really solid. Looking at areas of improvement, I'm going to look at the interior of the offensive line, and I'm going to get a monster. I'm going to get Vega Ione here. I mean, this dude is dangerous. I mean, look at the amount of positions he plays too. Like flexible, dominant, just reliable. And you put him next to Josh Simmons. I love Vega Ione. Feel free to correct me if I mispronounce that last name. I know people call him Vega. So number 61, though, Rams via that trade back again. We moved up to that 68 spot. I feel very comfortable with how we've ended up addressing that. Here, I'm going to probably take the chance at that right tackle spot with Austin Barber. We'll see if that ends up working out. Like looking at other players, Caden Green's a good guard right now. I want to see him more consistent at tackle, even though he did a great job versus Kansas. Kansas doesn't really have a translatable edge rusher just yet. So after week 1, I need to see it versus like good players. But Austin Barber just feels a little too good to pass on at this point, and you need to take the risk of him not working out at right tackle. At number 62 for the Ravens, went Christian Miller in round 1. Such a Ravens thing to do. I'm going to look at corner here because I really do think you just need to continue weaponizing this corner core. And D'Angelo Pons makes sense. I mean, you're, again, replacing Marlon Humphrey. Why do I always say Marlon Humphrey when I'm talking about Jair Alexander? Replacing Jair Alexander, and you need somebody who has athleticism, physicality. That's what this dude is. I mean, he already has interception on the year. He might be small, but this dude handles wide receiver, like ex-wide receivers like it's nothing. And he's going to be one of those players that we'll see if he can be the exception to the rule. Green Bay Packers at 63. Keyshawn Nixon randomly looks like a superstar. I mean, thank God. I don't know what the hell you guys are doing in that secondary, but obviously did not have a pick because this is, well, Micah. But you could try to look for another plug at the nose, like Dante Corleone. Again, you don't force things, right? I feel like if we had Tim Keenan here, I would definitely consider it. But like I'm looking at the corner core here right now. Dalen Everett, very reliable. Not really the guy I'd go after. Let's go after Big Iggy. Like, number 6'2", 195, just needs to chill on the penalties. But Igbinosun at 63 is incredible value, in my opinion. 64 for the Bills. If Zaki Wheatley were here, that's where I would go. Terry Moore, we'll see what's up with him when he gets reps this year. But Bud Clark is a dark horse pick for me right here. I mean, we've gone after offensive weaponry so far with Chris Bell. I'm going to go after Bud Clark. Why does everyone disrespect this guy? Like, I don't get that. I don't like TCU. And I feared this man. He should have come out last year, but I don't get it. Really reliable safety. Like ridiculously reliable everywhere on the field. Is this not what like Bills fans are saying they need? Like I don't understand why people do not talk more about Bud Clark, but it is what it is. Carnell Tate, Garrett Nussmeier, New Orleans Saints have a new identity on offense. Let's look at the edge core and get them an identity on defense as well. I'm looking at Gabe Akis here to be that bigger guy, 6'3", 270. Again, doesn't really fit that physical aspect in terms of the height, which is what Kenyatta Jackson does. And that's where I'm like thinking you could take a shot on the upside at edge because he doesn't need to start instantly if he doesn't have to. I think that's going to be the best move. I mean, based on the edge core, like in this draft, and again, Pookie Bear or Malachi Lawrence is not in their realm either. Kenyatta Jackson has a chance to be a real wrecker of the game. So I do think it's a good shot in the third round to take a swing on it. 66 for the Browns. Avion Terrell, Caleb Longo, Lenore Sellers. Oh, damn. Like number one players at their position for many people, respectively. So like potentially 3 number one guys at their respective positions. Chandler Rivers might not be a bad choice at this point. Again, undersized, a little bit worrisome there. Wide receiver wise, I mean, I'm looking at Jacoby Lane here, Elijah Surratt. Elijah Surratt would be pretty fun. He's just not undersized, excuse me. He's a little bit limited as an athlete. Over 60% as a contested catcher on his career. So, I mean, I definitely don't think that 33% is very translatable at the rate that his overall career numbers have been. Like that could be someone who's more reliable. Jacoby Lane kind of feels like somebody who is going to be a developmental project, but he's done a fantastic job this year, again, versus scrubs. People think that he's a super high pick. This is where I'm going to take my shot on it. Again, have not drafted a weapon for them just yet. So we're going to go after Jacoby Lane out of USC for the Browns. 67 for the Texans. We have gone after defensive interior tackle and running back. That's kind of how I feel like you need to attack the draft. Tight end, you definitely could go after. Like, I feel like this is the spot. And if you want to get edge depth, this is the place to do it, right? You could go Joshua Josephs. Honestly, I think I might. He is going to be older, but he has like 34 and 3/4 inch arms. Like, this guy is the definition of someone you want as your edge 3 as a DPR. I'm going to rock it. This is where I feel a lot more comfortable doing that. Again, in the first, fuck no. Here, definitely more intrigued. At 68 for the Rams, we've gone after Austin Barber, Keith Abney, and John Mateer. This is via a trade with the Philadelphia Eagles. Where should we go with this team? We could end up getting a burner here. So I'm looking at Eric Singleton, excuse me. Like definitely somebody I want to see utilized more for Auburn, but someone who I really liked coming into the year. That's probably the guy I'm going to go after. I really like Chase Roberts, but he's just older. Zachariah Branch would be good. Oh, I ended up talking about Casey Concepcion versus Branch. I will say, Chase Roberts took a downfall so far statistically this year, but one of the best route runners in the entire country. Casey Concepcion is going to be the pick here. Really good returner. I mean, he's just perfect to replace Tutu Atwell. So I think it makes sense. Titans, Antonio Williams, Caleb Downs. Perfectly happy with that. Let's get them some edge talent. And I'm going to go after Pookie Bear, Malachi Lawrence, going down to UCF. He's not listed on here, unfortunately. So anybody I like down the line? Qua. I'm going to use Qua as the placeholder. For my number 5 player in the class, Malachi Lawrence, I do understand, again, I don't think he should go number 5. To me, he's like one of those players who I think is the 5th most talented player who will just end up being a steal later on. So Malachi Lawrence, number 5, going to the Tennessee Titans. And number 70 for the Carolina Panthers, Ruben Bain, DJ McKinney. Let's get some offensive firepower here. Now, we could go tight end. Again, I just feel like it's a weird spot where I think all the Titans will start flying off, and just now is not it. If you want to go after, I mean, I guess I would rather go after Jimmy Horn. I was like looking on the offensive side. We could go after someone like Jennings Dunker to end up having that physicality on the interior. I'm not there yet. That's me. I'm going to go linebacker. We're just going to stick to the defense. And even though he might be undersized, I still love the pass rushing upside of Harold Perkins, kind of using him and Umami Ellen as DPRs on third down and long would be kind of crazy. So we're going to go Harold Perkins Jr. here, linebacker at LSU. 71 for the Dolphins. Drew Aller and traded back and got Domani Jackson. So we've traded up, we've traded back. I feel like this is just a good spot to go after another weapon that can end up replacing Hill with some return ability and just overall talent. And that's going to be Eric Singleton here. Or, hold up, Zachariah Branch, who, yeah, I mean, Zachariah Branch, it's the same situation. So I'm going to go with Branch, who's just doing better recently. And I think it's just a good, reliable weapon. At 72 for the Raiders, Peter Woods, Whit Weeks. And I think we got to go edge rusher at this point. R. Mason Thomas has crazy, crazy upside reps, but I want to get somebody who has a little bit more of a physical side and going to be a little bit more built for being a pure defensive end. And even though he might slip to day 3, I want to show love to a player who I think is just very reliable, and that's Mikhail Kamara out of Indiana. He's 6'1", so some people think he should play in the interior. But, I mean, first off, pretty much upper quartile in both run, stop, and pass rush, but also just so damn good. I mean, he is somebody who makes offensive linemen hate to block him because he's just that strong and that reliable. But, I was talking about going after Parker Brailsford potentially in round 2 for the Falcons, pair him back up with his former quarterback and Michael Penix. I'm going to go after another wrestling champion here and move it from tackle to center and Jennings Dunker out of Iowa. A lot of people have crazy love for Jennings Dunker. I do think that the system really just kind of gives him a lot better of a look than he is. But again, he is very strong, very strong. Colts trade up for Sonny Styles and got Cade Klubnik. Again, you could see if that's going to end up working out. Eric Singleton would be fun. I'm not going to go after wide receiver because I think you have the most underrated wide receiver core in the NFL. Just is what it is. People are not going to appreciate it, but I am. I'm going to go after defensive interior here. And honestly, I want to get a pocket buster. I'm going to go after DeMonte Capehart. This dude just ends up just ramming the offensive line and just destroying guards' anchors. One of the most underrated players in the entire class. At number 75 for the Pittsburgh Steelers, this is via that the George Pickens trade. This is not Jalen Walthall. Do not end up being like, oh shit, there's a Incarnate Ward wide receiver. This is CJ Daniels out of Miami. But we've gotten our tackle. We've gotten our wide receiver. I feel like this is where we can get comfortable taking a quarterback. And I think the best one is Carson Beck. He hasn't really played anybody crazy, but even versus Notre Dame under pressure, I thought he was very calm, very composed. And it's a good player to challenge Will Howard. Even though he doesn't have like the best reputation, I think he's just a damn good quarterback one, like quarterback 2, French quarterback 1. Like he's the definition of somebody who like you feel comfortable with him being a fringe quarterback. And that's kind of the same range that I had Will Howard in, but I had Will Howard a lot higher. Carson Beck has better athletic traits in my opinion, but again, I feel very comfortable taking Beck in the 3rd. 76 for the Seahawks, Mansour Delane and Cassius Howell. And we want to get some guy, like a guy with some speed and a little bit of a bigger frame. Like, honestly, you can go Malachi Fields if you want to get someone who's going to be a real physical player. But Deuce Robinson, someone who I would take on day 3. I want to give a shout out to Deuce, but, because he's somebody who I did not believe in. He's kind of utilized as a deep threat now. Love that. So maybe that's somebody that you go down the line. Noah Thomas, love him to death. I thought it was a dumbass decision to go to Georgia, and it so far really has. I hate to say it. That guy just screwed himself royally. Like, just not good. Bryce Lane's one that's intriguing to me, though. I mean, I'm really hoping that you can end up getting Torrey Horton to really shine. But Bryce Lane's one of those dark horse players that I would say maybe focus on a little bit. But let's get on the interior of the offensive line because the talent there is really good right now. And I'm just going to go old reliable. I'm going to go Josh Braun, 6'6", 340. Like, not really the style of guard that you guys are kind of used to at this point because you get look like a little bit more athleticism, a little bit more like, especially for Kubiak, a little more zone. But Braun is just a reliable guard. And Kentucky and also Arkansas used him in a variety of gap and zone concepts to where I feel like he's just so well-rounded that you don't have to worry about him anymore. Patriots at 77. I'm going to go after the center route. We've gone after Gooseby and Tyson so far. We're sticking all offense because I just trust Vrabel to kick ass on defense and snipe the best guys. We're going to go after someone that people believe in a lot more than I do and go after that long-term center. 78 for the Bears, Keldrick Falk, Damon Claiborne. We're going to go after edge rusher here. And I'm going to go after Gabe Akis, who's right down the road. A lot of people think of him as a potential first. I have my reservations on him, even though he was someone I loved as a true freshman. 79, Jaguars ended up going after Parker Brailsford in the 1st round. We're going to go after defensive back here. Dalen Everett is just so reliable. I mean, it's just kind of hard to say no to that at this point. Some other corners like DJ Harvey ended up having a really bad week 1, bounce back week 2. I mean, I'm just hoping that he ends up getting back to where he was at San Jose State. Don't know why he ended up taking that level of a dip. But I mean, you're looking for someone who's physical. We're going to go back to Georgia. We're going to go with Dalen Everett. I mean, just, he's just the dude. He's just so solid. It's just, a little bit underwhelming. But again, in the 3rd round, that is really good value. 80 for the Cardinals. We've gone after a linebacker. We've gone after tackle. Super happy with that. We've gotten a faller at all the positions I want to go because Singleton is just perfect right now. Like, Hill was perfect. Singleton's perfect. World's perfect. I just feel comfortable with that. 81, we got the Giants. And so far, Spencer Fano, Jermod McCoy, this is via that trade down, got future capital as well. And again, really good capital right now. Like, I'm liking how we're ending up like rounding off this draft. Running back wise, we could talk about some players here. There are some good ones, but it does feel like there's just a massive drop off. That sucks. That really does suck. But wide receiver is not a bad idea. I don't really think we have like a legitimate jump catch guy. Elijah Surratt kind of feels like a perfect dude for Jackson Dart to lay it up to. We're going to go after Elijah Surratt here out of Indiana. 82 for the Pittsburgh Steelers. We've gone Tiernan. We've gone CJ Daniels and his quarterback, Carson Beck. So we do have a wide receiver and quarterback combo again. And so do we need another wide receiver? No. Do we need another tight end? Hell no. Do we need another running back? Maybe, but we ended up signing an extension for our guy, Jalen Warren. We could try to look at the interior of the offensive line, try to continue boosting that one. There's some good offensive guards in the class. Lyndon Cooper, shout out to him, but he is not going to be somebody that we take because we have a good center. Safety, we'll see. I mean, how Jabril Peppers does, but this might be a good opportunity to look at the corner room. Malik Muhammad's done a better job this year for sure. Definitely somebody that I think we should start considering at this point. And honestly, it's worth it. Even if he ends up being a backup, it's worth the talent. He's a very talented corner. At number 83 for the Washington Commanders, Kenyon Sadiq in the 1st. Really like the fact that we ended up moving up for him. Still might just focus all on offense because there's Jeremy Bernard here who is just so good as a balanced wide receiver. The dream wide receiver 3. I'm going to go full offense for him. They don't care about the defense, I swear, because their coach is just so damn good. Dan Quinn is so good at just maximizing the defense. Bengals, Zakee Wheatley, LT over 10. Money. I'm going to go after Lyndon Cooper, center out of Pittsburgh. I love him to death. He's not going to be listed in here, so Connor Tolson's going to get the boost. But my number 13 player currently should probably be in the 40s or 50s when all is said and done, but damn good value at 84. 85 for the Minnesota Vikings. Thieneman and Darrell Jackson so far. I do think that wide receiver 3 spot is something that needs some more competition, and especially with Jordan Addison being a little bit iffy off the field, I feel like Deion Burks is perfect. If the medicals check out, this dude should be worth a 2nd round pick. He can play on the inside or the boundary, even at his height. He was one of the few guys to challenge Will Johnson in one-on-ones. And Deion Burks can be a really good weapon there for y'all at the very minimum in the slot. But also, I really just like him utilized as the pretty much replacement for Jordan Addison. 86 for the San Francisco 49ers. We went Proctor and Maui Goa. One to play guard, one to play tackle. Said a little bit of this, a little bit of that, motherfucker. We are going to be going after wide receiver at this point because I'm still seeing some very good options. I mean, this is just a solid wide receiver class in this range. I'm so pissed off at Noah Thomas. Kevin Coleman. I didn't realize Kevin Coleman's been doing so well. Damn, good for you, bro. Oh, I love that. Honestly, not a bad choice for the Niners. You guys, I mean, I really wanted the receiver from Arizona, his name's slipping my mind, to be the long-term option for this team. But there's not really a true after-the-catch burner on this team that I trust. That's it. We're going to go Kevin Coleman here. I really, why is no one talking about this guy? He is so good after the catch. He went from Mississippi State last year. I mean, I freaking love that. Good for Kevin Coleman, man. Shout out to him. Shout out to him, man. I mean, I've criminally not included him on these. So shout out to him. 87 for the Broncos. We're going to be going after a tight end here. And Klein is honestly a pretty solid one. Cuevas, a very underrated target in my opinion, but you got Eli Raridan there as well. Love Eli. Just needs to stop dropping the damn ball. Luke Hodge, what's up with him being listed all the way down here? Oh, he hasn't been playing. Is he injured? I mean, feel free to let me know about that. Seiju Traore pissed me off the last game, ended up having a drop and no yardage. So not including him in the third round. John Michael Gillenberg, really good player. Really good. Honestly, probably the player I'm going to take here because he is a receiving threat. People love Eli Stowers. We'll go Stowers here. He's also just kind of a gadget player. For the Eagles at 88, this is via that trade with the Rams. We went Max Clare and Dom Orange. So I feel very comfortable with how that is. Also, again, I ended up essentially getting Denzel Ward. Had to remember the name there. But with Denzel Ward in the group, I honestly think you could start looking at that running back position. Damn. I forgot how like kind of ass this running back room is because fucking Mekhi Hughes gets no carries and apparently is an off the field hazard. Le'Veon Moss is the next best, like possibly, like based on the value. God, that is so annoying. But have we gone after offensive line? Hell no. This is right where Stout U ends up coming in and be like, who do we want to work with? Max Ianker, not going to be my type of guy, but I heard that he has close to 35-inch arms. So there's something to work with there. Damn, this tackle class freaking sucks, dude. Holy Toledo. Oh, Harkey's here. Harkey is so solid. I'm so happy I kept scrolling. We're going to go Alex Harkey here, right tackle out of Oregon. Just really high floor. He's older. He's going to be 25. But it's just like, who gives a shit? This guy is just rock solid. Pause. Really good player. I'm so happy I kept scrolling. I'm like, wait a second. There's somebody I liked at right tackle in this class, and that was him. Buccaneers, Nick Harbor, Kyle Lewis. Like, you're not going to love that draft class, but you're going to love that draft class. I'm just going to say that. Max Llewellyn's going to be the player I take here. A bit under, he's up to 263. Holy shit. Doesn't have the best arm length, but dude's a dog. You're here to draft dogs. That's how I feel. Jaguars, Parker Brailsford, Dalen Everett have a couple more picks as well. You could go after some more of a DPR here in R. Mason Thomas. That'd be kind of cool. But I want to get more firepower at receiver because I just don't trust that you're going to use a full workload there for Travis Hunter. So I'm looking at Malachi Fields. Honestly, doesn't give, like, you don't have a Malachi Fields on your team. Big, physical, aggressive. And he just had a fumble that dropped his grade. I'm going to take him here at 90. 91 for the Niners. Kevin Coleman, Caden Proctor, CC Mauigoa. We need to go to the defense a little bit. I think right now, where can we end up improving in terms of some extra assistance? Maybe not a true starter. Defensive back room. I mean, how's Keelan Saab doing so far? God, I mean, honestly, not bad. 2 coverage stops at the moment. I mean, that's not that bad. I don't mind that. Keelan Saab, someone who I have a lot of faith in. Ooh, I love Emmanuel McNeil Warren. I mean, first off, you see all the colors like, ooh. But this dude's been on the stock up list 2 weeks in a row. We're going to go and take a sneaky player here in Emmanuel McNeil Warren out of Toledo. Number 92, Kansas City Chiefs, TJ Parker, Vega Ione. I feel very comfortable with those 2 players. We're going to be going after a tight end here. Royer's a good player. I mean, I'm not gonna shit on Royer. Jack Endries feels a little bit more up your alley. So I'm going to go after Jack Endries, tight end out of Texas, to continue just churning and burning with the tight end room. Eagles at 93. Again, we have Max Clare, Alex Harkey, Dom Orange. Very happy with that group. I think now we can try to take like maybe an edge rusher if we want to that has a lot of potential. Like Principal Umami Ellen would be somebody I'd throw as like a crazy curveball. I'm not convincing anybody at this point. Do we just go after another wide receiver? Or not wide receiver, another quarterback? No. We're going to go after guard here, though, because we went after a tackle. We're going to actually go after a guard who also has tackle experience. First off, shout out to Josh Thompson. Do need to find a way to slide him in here. But I'm going to actually go after, he's listed as a tackle. That's why I'm like, where the hell is one of my favorite players in the entire draft, Tomas Remak. When he's a guard, this dude's a beast. But, I mean, week 1 going up against Dylan Stewart's just never fun. I mean, that's tough to do. You get moved from left guard to right tackle. But this is somebody who's going to be a great addition on the interior of the offensive line. 94 for the Baltimore Ravens, Christian Miller, D'Angelo, Velcro, Pons. Love them both. I mean, you're just getting good players at this point. Wide receiver wise, you could try to talk about some guys here. I mean, again, we've limited the class. Let's do what's best at the moment. Kamari Ramsey, a defensive back, definitely up there. But I do think continuing to build the edge core, never a bad idea. This is the 3rd round after all. Like, you're starting to get the role players, but guard also Again, we're at that spot where I feel comfortable just taking interior offensive lineman. Jaden Roberts, super high ceiling, but dirt low floor. Iapani, solid center. I'm gonna go Caden Green here out of Missouri. I mean, he's playing tackle right now, but I don't know if I trust him there. But he's gonna be a really talented guard with tackle upside. What's the problem with that? At number 95, Green Bay Packers. Davidson Igbinosun, round number 2. And round number 3, where can we get value? Not very many places. Like we're not really looking on the offensive side. Did we go after defensive interior yet? No. This is where we're going to go after another plug here, Dante Corleone. He is also 6'1", 335. We're going to get some big beef right there. 96 Buffalo Bills, safety, wide receiver. We're going to go after a linebacker here. And good players, like CJ Allen's a thumper. He should go higher than this, but again, there's guys get lost in the sauce. 97 for the Jaguars. We've gone after Parker Brailsford, Dalen Everett, Malachi Fields. Feels a little bit underwhelming, I must admit. But we're going to go after one of my favorite players in the entire class. We're going to bulk up the offensive line here with Josh Thompson, guard out of LSU. Transfer from Northwestern. He's done actually a really solid job. So very excited. I mean, his first game was against Peter Woods. Not easy. 98 for the Pittsburgh Steelers. We got Caleb Tiernan, C.J. Daniels out of Miami, wide receiver. Carson Beck, and Malik Muhammad. At this point, I might even go Kamari Ramsey, somebody who can play in the slot, can also play in the box. Like, I like the flexibility. Like, getting a versatile chess piece and kind of letting Jalen Ramsey mold him as well feels like a proper thing to do. And honestly, I'm going to take it. We're going to go BPA. 99 for the Minnesota Vikings. We've gone after Dylan Thieneman, Daryl Jackson, Deion Burks. Let's see if we can go after a corner here. And Chandler Rivers not a horrible option. Xavier Scott's been playing in the boundary and the slot. This dude just flirts with both. Respect it. Don't love it, but respect it. I'm not really a fan of the cornerbacks that we have left. I mean, even the guys who I don't have on here, like Jontez Williams, they don't make sense. So, I mean, looking at other options, I think this is where you can start. I just don't like the running back class. I'm like, I don't feel very comfortable with that. We've gone after our nose already with Daryl Jackson. We've gone after our safety already. I mean, you could try to go and upgrade the linebacking room as well. Again, it's like, oh, man. Ooh, you know what? I really like Scooby Williams. Scooby's been so solid. I mean, he's been somebody who's popped up multiple times. Also, baller name, too. So you could talk about that. Or you can go Terrain York. I'm not sold on Terrain York. I just don't like him personally. You could go after Deontay Lawson. The ceiling with Lawson's through the roof, but dude's been having a struggle year. Like, I'm not gonna force that shit. Ooh, actually, hold up. No. It ended up working out before. I'm gonna do it again. Jake Golday's been doing a very good job there for the Cincinnati Bearcats. This dude's built to be a Mike. So we're going to go and rock him there for you guys at 99. Give him a cool shout out there. And at 100 for the Cleveland Browns, Sellers, Lamu, Terrell, and Lane. I'm not going to be a dick, but I'm going to be trading out the spot because I think that, some team is going to want to move up and then go after one of these QBs, Sawyer Robertson being one of them. The question is who? I think we're going to go Sawyer Robertson at this pick. The question is which team's going to move up. Aiden Child is going to be considered returning. Who wants to go QB? Who wants it? And, I mean, the Steelers, we've already gone our quarterback. The Giants are not going to get quarterback competition unless they have somebody new in the building. I mean, I doubt that the Seahawks are going to try to trade up to go after a QB. Damn. Raiders are not a bad option, though. I think the Raiders could put themselves in a good position here. Like, the Raiders have not gone after a QB, and they need to develop somebody. So, and they're not very far away from the Browns. It's an 8-spot move up. And honestly, I could go 135 and get back like 147. I mean, that's a very small move. You'd have to toss in like a future 6. So we'll toss in a future 6. The Cleveland Browns make that move. And, going Whit Weeks, Peter Woods, Mikhail Kamara, you're revamping the defense, but we got to go and upgrade the offense. Levitt's going to return to school. Just FYI, it's not going to happen. Sawyer, ended up seeing him in person, struggled early, but ended up balling out. Taylon Green's a dark horse. I mean, this dude is crazy strong with his arm, and he's pinpoint accurate. If this guy continues to have a good year, this is the guy who I'd put in at this spot. But we're going to go Sawyer, the red hot hand out of Baylor to end off third round and end off the video. Thank you again for showing all the love that you guys give me and all the attention. I appreciate you. Thank you again for supporting me as always. See you later. Peace.